Well, India and Iran established diplomatic ties in 1950. Under President Ebrahim Raisi, relations between the two nations saw a boost due to various deals and interactions. India and Iran signed a 10-year pact to develop Iranian port of Chabahar. Iran officially became a member of the BRICS Forum. Pushing for greater use of national currency, India and Iran held discussions on using rupee and rial in bilateral trade. All right, joining me on the broadcast is Prabhu Dayal. He is a former senior diplomat. Sir, I welcome you to the broadcast. Now to begin with, Iranian President Ebrahim Raisi died in helicopter crash and reactions are pouring in from around the globe. In fact, Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi condoled his demise. He said his contribution to strengthening India-Iran bilateral relationship will always be remembered. How do you assess India-Iran relations over the time?
Well, Siddharth, first of all, thanks for having me on your show.
Pleasure.
For this discussion, which is very, very important. India's relations with Iran have been strengthening gradually. I may recall that Prime Minister Modi visited Iran in 2016. And during his visit, a very important pact was signed. And that pact was for the development of the Chabahar port. Now, why is the Chabahar port important? It is important in the context of India's growing global outreach. Now, India wants access, an easy access to Central Asia, Afghanistan, and beyond, to Russia.
Indeed.
This has been impeded by Pakistan, because Pakistan is not allowing India access to Afghanistan through its own territory. So therefore, the port of Chabahar, which has been developed by India and Iran, India is in fact running the Shahid Bahishti terminal, it was set up, and it was on an annual basis. Now, a week ago, matters were escalated because India and Iran signed a bilateral agreement allowing India to operate the Bahishti terminal at Chabahar port for 10 years. And this agreement would be automatically renewed. Now, why does this become important? You see, China is developing the Belt and Road Initiative. It has the China-Pakistan Economic Corridor, and that gives it great outreach. And both China and Pakistan are obstructing India's global outreach. So the Chabahar port is going to allow India to reach out to Afghanistan, and through Afghanistan, Central Asia, and beyond to Russia, and even to the Baltic coast of Russia. So therefore, this is very, very important in this strategic sense. Now, whether this will invite sanctions, you know, earlier the United States had given a waiver of sanctions for the Chabahar project. This was in 2018. Of course, at that time, US forces were in Afghanistan, and this waiver was given in the context of the infrastructure development in Afghanistan. Since then, things have changed.
Sir, I would like to ask you how India managed to win a carve-out from US sanctions. If you could just tell us something about that.
No, at that time, the waiver was given in the context of the Chabahar port because even the Americans agreed that this port could, facilitate access to Afghanistan and thus promote the infrastructure development in that country.
Especially in Central Asia.
And onwards to Central Asia, yes. But you see, the problem is that ever since the Americans withdrew from Afghanistan in 2021, there is a possibility that they could change their position. But India has enough diplomatic expertise, and I think we must have been in discussions with the Americans and will be to explain to them how this project is very, very important in the context of the regional situation, where it is vital that India is able to access countries like Afghanistan and those in Central Asia, because otherwise there is going to be regional hegemony on the part of China. China is expanding in this region at a very rapid pace, and even the Americans realize that China needs to be checked.
Okay.
So I think in that context, there may be some uniformity of views. And while the Americans have hinted at a possibility of sanctions, but nothing very concrete has happened. And I think our diplomacy will engage with the United States and make sure that these sanctions are not imposed against the Chabahar port, which is being developed by India.
Definitely. I mean, this agreement is very critical for India's connectivity plans, especially, like I said, in Afghanistan and Central Asia as well. Sir, I would like to ask you that now, what is the way forward as far as the relations between both the countries are concerned, especially when I take energy sector into consideration?
Well, the relations are important for both countries. And I think that the importance which the Iranians have been attaching towards developing closer ties with India will even outlive President Raisi. He is no longer there. He has had an unfortunate death in a chopper crash. But Iran's policy towards India will continue to seek closer cooperation. And similarly, we have a vital stake in closer cooperation. Therefore, we will continue to build on this. And, as such as we have been emphasizing that we have civilizational ties with Iran, and that we have an interest in maintaining positive ties with Iran, particularly in the areas of energy, trade, transshipment, and regional cooperation. So I don't think India will abandon its relationship with Iran or allow foreign powers to dictate terms on this subject.
All right. Thank you so much, sir. Appreciate you joined us on this broadcast. And still to come on DD India News Hour.